All right, hello everybody. My name is Master Chen.
This is Vic.
And I'm Richard Satchel.
And you are either watching or listening to episode 195 of Greynoise. Tonight, definitely the DNS Information Security Podcast. We'll get into that in just a second. We are here live at the Sin Shop because it is Friday, 7:30 p.m. The address is 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. Crux is not here. I think he's lost. Doxy's not here. I think he's lost too. So just to let everybody know, this is still the Las Vegas Valley hackerspace. Go to sinshop.org for information on what we do here, and go to meetup.com/sinshop for information on the classes that we teach and the things that we do in the upcoming events. And for information on us as a podcast, go to Greynoise, GREYNOI.se. Okay. Any other announcements? Lockpick Night will not be coming this coming Monday. It'll be a Monday from... It'll be 7 days from this coming Monday. I was so close. But also remember,
2 weeks, I think that is.
if you are a member of the shop, you are more than welcome to attend the board meeting, which is happening tomorrow at 2 p.m. here, right here.
Are you going to be there?
Yes, I'll be there.
Oh, we have 4 board members.
Oh, yeah, we have 4 board.
Oh,
all
wow.
all of us,
Weird.
by the way, are board
Yeah.
members of the shop, so we are here, and we'll be here tomorrow. If you
Don't
wanna-
hold that against it, though.
Yeah, if you want Satchel's autograph, come by. See, I made him blush.
If you want it. Sure.
I told you I'm working on that thing where I make people freeze up.
Oh.
All right. All right. So how was everybody's week?
Pretty good. I saw the
Did
Infinity
you
War.
seriously do that to me?
No, I didn't. Why are you looking? Don't look at that. Jeez, that's a spoiler for Infinity War.
Sorry. Go ahead. Can't believe you do. Okay.
Why would you do that? So not Infinity War, but Endgame. But yeah, saw that this week. It was pretty good.
Doxy's not here. I don't have to listen to it right now.
No, you don't.
Besides, we still have the 3 week spoiler rule, and it's only been a week.
No, I've heard it's only 48 hours now.
What?
I don't know.
Are you, no, shut
Actually,
up.
no. The 3-week rule doesn't exist because the Russo brothers said that it's only until this Monday and the spoiler ban is off.
No
Okay.
shit.
Yeah, they actually tweeted that out because
Well,
they said that
I
there's a
should be
spoiler
watching
ban.
the movie on Sundays.
This
Who's
last
talking like that?
Who?
Who's got time for this?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
It's like somebody just arbitrarily said, "Oh, you know what? You get 72 hours."
Yeah.
But they are the guys that made it.
They're the directors, the Russo brothers.
I mean, if anyone does,
They're the ones that put
Well,
out
time out.
that
You know.
letter. They made the letter
People
go
still
viral.
aren't questioning, art from like 300 years ago.
Oh, that's true.
All right. So, hello, welcome. All right, we have new people in the audience. All right, so I'm Vic. I'm glad that you are on the show with us today because you've done a lot of research on this particular.
Did you want to talk
So-
about the other thing, though?
Wait. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's
So
like I have to
you
direct
you
the show or
saw.
something. Nothing.
I know I'm
know,
doing it
yeah.
all wrong. Okay, so you saw
might as well produce it, right?
I saw
Yeah.
the thing.
the thing, the movie without the spoilers. What the hell is it called? Avengers Endgame.
Yeah,
He saw it.
Endgame, yes.
You saw it too, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you didn't see it, Vic?
I have not seen it.
My man. Not yet, right? Okay,
But
cool.
the science thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Vic, you went to see the science of hacking.
Well, it's a continuation in Vegas. In the spring like this, we have Sciences Everywhere, kind of like a long week of that. And the Sin Shop participated in that last Sunday. We had an event here. We saw about 160 kids show up
It's a pretty good turnout.
and enjoyed a lot of the science projects that we had set up for them. And so continue on with that later in the week. On Wednesday, they had a thing at one of the libraries here locally. Brian Seeley, he's a fairly famous hacker. He man-in-the-middled the Secret Service
Oh, shit.
on a
I didn't know who
telephone
this
call.
guy was.
Yeah, and he moved Edward Snowden's location to the lawn of the the White House on Google Maps.
Oh, cool.
And so he was able to use a lot of Google features that were able to like redirect calls and do things, and basically man in the middle Secret Service. But he's got other credits to his name. I thought it was a good introduction to the average person for white hat hacking.
So what exactly? Okay, it's a broad subject, obviously. So what kind of stuff did he cover specifically, or was it very high level type of stuff? Or
He stayed pretty much high level. He didn't get anything in detail. He says, this can happen and this is why it can happen. Real simple explanations. There was a number of kids in the audience, but there's a lot of parents with them, and a lot of good questions were asked at that show and afterwards. But he did a good job introducing basic, like, you don't have to be a criminal to be a hacker.
Right.
Type of a mentality that he put out there.
it goes back to what we were talking about last week on the show
yeah,
about
absolutely.
the 4 signs of your kid being a criminal hacker. So that's good. How long was the event? Was it just like an hour?
About an hour and a half. I think it started 6:30, and we got out of there a little bit before 8.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a decent time. That's like a movie length of an event.
Yeah.
Okay. And is he going to be doing this annually, or is this like right after this Sciences Everywhere?
I don't know if it's going to be. It was brought one of the people from Sciences Everywhere put it together and had him come in and talk.
Nice, very good. All right, so before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, I just want to say this week I've been working with Git way more than I ever have before, and I'm actually starting to understand like exactly how it all works and puts together and how to revert and how to.
So you're getting it.
I'm getting it. Yes, God damn it. Yes, I'm getting Git. Yes.
Nice.
You go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like I didn't realize that I would have a satchel on both sides.
dual satchels.
All right, now what were you gonna say?
That's kind of.
Oh no, I was gonna say I started getting into Git a little bit, and I don't know. I'm still working my way around the DAO of Git.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
I'm like, okay, it keeps that directory synced with that directory. So far, so good. It's when the branches start coming in that I'm like, do what now?
Well, the branches okay. So the branching of Git makes sense to me now because it's like, okay, you take the code base and then you maybe fix a bug in it or whatever, and then for a pull request, like you fix this bug, make sure it doesn't conflict with any other piece of code, and so whoever the maintainer of the project is, like the master branch, will look at the code and be like, okay, this seems to work, this should be fine, and it'll merge that branch back into the main or into like the master branch of and that's just one example, by the way. That's just one example of how it all works, and just because I've been working with it daily this week, it's really in there.
Is your cheat sheet getting shorter that you need to refer back to?
No, only because so Atlassian, the people who make Jira, they have this amazing Git tutorial, like from top to bottom. It's a full manual on their website, and it's fucking amazing. It's really good, like just from start to finish, just every use case that you could think of, the difference between like fetch and pull and merge and all these differences. And
I wish they'd make their upgrading easier.
Well, I mean,
upgrading the Jira instance is not as easy as other
oh
software.
yeah, you
They
tried
still
that
call it
last
Slaying
week.
the Dragon.
Yeah.
They do.
No, I backed out of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Atlassian, like a long time ago, I worked for a hosting company that did a lot of stuff with Atlassian. And there's
really?
one of the things that at Atlassian, like, was your claim to fame or whatever, was Slaying the Dragon. And that was like doing an install of Jira and like
Confluence and all that shit, right? Yeah.
and all the other crap that they have. Yeah.
Wow.
Man, I never heard it referred to as that, but okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I don't know if that's an internal thing or what.
I don't know, but in any case, I'm okay. We're getting fact check right here. So,
Along with what?
Fisheye.
Oh, Fisheye. That was the other one.
so I thought it was a productive week
Well, good.
for everybody. I think, right?
Mostly.
Mostly. No, so okay. Now I would like to say, Mr. Vic, I'm very happy that you are on the show because something pissed you off earlier this week, and it made you do a whole bunch of stuff. You've been busy.
I have been.
Yeah. So what I'm referring to, and I have the article up here, but I think you can explain it probably better than I
No,
can.
go ahead and read from
Wait,
the
was
set.
this article posted somewhere?
Yeah, I put it. I put it in link dump. This is a Sky Broadband. Now, Sky Broadband is a UK company, and we'll get into that. So the article reads: Sky Broadband firmware update bricks routers that are using third-party DNS settings. So basically, what we're talking about is if you're using like a Pi-hole, hold on, let me back up a little bit.
Yeah, what constitutes as a third-party DNS?
Yeah, so we'll get
Anything
into all
that
this
isn't the
first.
ISP DNS.
So that's what I was gonna.
Yeah, so if you're not using
Does
Cox.
8.8.8.8 count?
That's correct. It does.
Oh, so even if you use 8, it'll still brick?
It'll still brick. If you do,
Okay.
if the DNS servers on the devices are not configured by DHCP, and you have a a different DNS setup
You have a
on the
static
router.
DNS.
If you have a static DNS, it will brick. Now, they kind of said brick, but you can still get access to it because the reply from the company said if you change your DNS back to our servers, your internet will come back. If you don't want to do that, you can wait 5 to 7 days for us to push a software rollback, and then your internet will start again.
So you have So you still have less time of without internet than Doxy was on CenturyLink.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Wait, so they will allow you to use a third-party DNS, but they give
Nope.
you a 7-day waiting period?
Right. So they pushed a software update Monday night, and Tuesday morning people woke up and no internet. So whoever had a static DNS that wasn't their DNS configured
Yeah.
was their internet stopped working. So the company came out and said, well, if you want your internet back, just change your DNS servers to our DNS servers and it'll work. Or you can wait 5 to 7 days and we'll roll the software back and then you can use your other DNS.
Huh.
But they even said you're not going to be able to do that forever because they're pretty much going to lock you down to their DNS servers for their router.
What country are they in?
UK.
Great Britain.
They're the second largest provider in the UK.
Are you kidding me?
So what kind of implications are we talking about here? We've talked about this throughout the week, but for the listeners and for you guys who weren't in the conversation, we're basically talking about pushing targeted ads, perhaps,
Right.
as an example.
Probably, or not properly resolutioning pages out as they should. They could prevent you from accessing pages. This is, once you have the control of the DNS, you can route any request to wherever you want. And so they can program this. If you request Google.com, it could be a localized version of Google.com.
Yeah. And they can literally track every single.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every search,
Absolutely.
every credential login.
And,
Wow.
and so there's a number of browsers out there, Firefox and Chrome, which allows you to be able to put in an HTTPS DNS query. And you can put in, what's the 1.1.1?
That's a
Cloudflare.
It's
Cloudflare.
Yeah.
Now, Cloudflare gives an HTTPS address. It's 1.1.1.1 spelled out, and then .cloudflare-dns.com. I'm not a huge fan of Cloudflare per se on everything, but they seem to be doing this correctly, the DNS portion of it correctly. So your browser will be transparent to anybody's DNS. They can't stop it because it's regular HTTPS traffic. It's not DNS traffic. And so you could get around this block from inside your browser. Both Chrome and Firefox has this option. And if you're running Android 9, if you're running Pi, it also has this option underneath the advanced network settings.
Yeah, I found that out
Interesting.
from you also. Vic.
And so when they say you won't be able to do this forever, even if you're using this method, you're still clear?
You would be clear on that, but it would be browser dependent. You would have to configure each individual browser to be able to do that.
What if you're doing anything like with the command line, like for some reason using links?
So learn how to run DNS Masquerade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So they can't like man in the middle HTTPS traffic, could they?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Simple answer. Thoughts?
It's fucked up.
That's fucked up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
So now I don't know how.
Was this because of the law that they passed?
Yes.
Like 3 or 4 weeks ago, something like that?
Right.
Oh, so this is
Well,
related
it's
to the whole
their
point.
answer. It's their attempt to comply to that law, but no others UK provider is doing this.
So they basically got rid of Safe Harbor, or the British equivalent for UK ISPs. Is that what they're trying to comply with? Like, what was the law a couple weeks ago?
They passed the no porn ban. So you are not allowed to view pornography in the UK
Unless you have a license.
They
unless you have
passed
a
that.
license. Yeah, they passed it.
So you have to go to a
I'm not sure how the
bookstore
country has it
or a
right.
magazine shop. You have to go to some physical location, show your ID that you're over an age. They don't, and then they sell you a porn pass, basically.
And then you use that to browse for whatever you're looking for.
That is.
So basically, you're authenticated that you're over whatever the minimum age is in UK.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know that great fire that they had a long time ago?
Back in the 1600s.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen again.
Why?
People are going to fucking
What,
riot.
like Paris?
Oh, no. It was like, what, Guy Fawkes?
Oh, you're talking about you're talking about the parliament, like him blowing up trying to blow up the parliament.
Yeah. People are going to be fucking pissed. They're not going to get their porn.
Remember, the 5th of November. No, but I mean, like, God.
Guy Fawkes didn't burn down anything.
No, he got
did,
caught.
But
He got caught.
Yeah, that fire was.
They'll try again.
Yeah, different story.
Oh, yeah. That was a much different, in a different language even.
Wait,
one
what
would say.
story was that?
In the,
I know we're getting off topic here, but now I'm curious.
So the Parliament building burnt. I think it was 1670 or something like that, right around that time.
Okay.
And it was
And Guy Fawkes was it 1607? I think.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It burned after, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you have this, and of course, I'm glad that I don't have Sky Broadband as a internet provider.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is like last mile individual ISP DNSs, they can rake in a lot of money by redirecting localized ads to you.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're doing with this DNS.
Are they only like residential, or are they also providing for businesses?
I'm pretty sure they have business as well.
So now, do pie holes sit, like, where do pie holes sit in the
layer?
Yeah.
So pie holes usually they sit behind your router,
Right.
And so what you do with a pie hole is instead of on the router, you set your pie hole's LAN IP or your internal your pie hole's internal IP
Right.
as the DNS server that the router refers to, and then the DNS server on the pie hole is what goes out to like Cloudflare or
So what
wherever
if-
its upstream is.
So what if you have, so like I have a modem and then I have a firewall, which is my router, but my firewall looks at my pie hole, but the modem doesn't look at the pie hole.
Right.
So would I still be okay?
Yeah, because like my router picks up a DNS by DHCP from my ISP here.
Yeah.
Now I've got DNS Masquerade running behind that, and only that machine is allowed out through my firewall to get port 53.
Yeah.
And so it blocks any other machine from having direct connection out to that system. My router is pointed to my internal device that looks out. And so
It's a redirect rule.
right,
is what we're
and
talking
so
about here.
so DNS Masquerade, it doesn't go across port 53, it goes across HTTPS. I have it set up to do DNS secure encrypt. And so
Okay.
it goes across an encrypted tunnel out. So they can't sniff that traffic either.
Right now, of course, this is where docs would come in and say, "But not everybody's going to do that."
Not
and he's
yet.
right. He's
well,
right.
no, they're not.
Well, okay. So I heard a story the other day. It's like on a college campus, they blocked Tor and torrent sites. Nobody cared. They blocked Facebook, and everybody learned how to use a proxy.
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So it depends on what it is they're removing from service there.
They came for BitTorrent,
Yeah, watch.
and I said nothing.
Watch. They blocked
Facebook,
Snapchat.
we all lost our
I was gonna say,
minds.
They blocked Snapchat, and all these 14-year-olds just became hackers. We're hackers now, baby.
I think you're going to actually see that.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think as services become more restrictive and things happen, I think you're going to see more people like start to figure some stuff out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially with Australia's doing the thing now. They're forcing.
What aren't
yeah,
Australia doing?
Australia's just all fronts fucking up.
This actually bleeds into the next article about Russia.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I was gonna say.
Right.
Australia and then Russia. They're by 2021. They're walling themselves off from the extranet.
well, I
Yeah,
mean,
that'll end well.
We've talked
Yeah.
about this though on previous podcasts where you have this big internet and then you have like for instance little bubbles that are going to be coming out of it. So, for instance, the Chinese internet's already there. Russia is in the next couple of years going to be able to do this. They just signed the bill. Now the article says Putin signs Runyet. I think that's how you say it.
Runyet.
Runyet law to cut
Wait,
Russia's
you did an
internet.
accent. Doesn't that mean somebody else?
Drinking game. No, I'm kidding. Internet off from the rest of the world. So what you're starting to see is all these different countries are creating their own little internet or internet bubble where they have control. The government has the control of the information that their citizens see. And so that's we talked about it before. I think we're going to see more and more of it as soon as like China already has a kind of like a wrap on it. I think Russia will get there relatively soon. But there are ways to get out of the Chinese firewall, right?
Yes.
Of course, there's like proxies and there's things you can do. Do you think that's going to be the same with Russia? Because we were talking about like
So
physical separation, no?
so everybody's freaking out because Russia wants to put up a wall, but what Russia did is they had a military exercise that said basically if we needed to like keep people from attacking our infrastructure, could we stop this and still have a working internet for ourselves? And so it was about 3 weeks ago, they went in and for one day, I think it was real early in the morning, they basically said, okay, we're going to cut all external lines. And not physically, but they're going to emulate that. And they found out a lot of stuff in Russia quit working when they couldn't resolution stuff from outside outside their federation. So part of this law is funding the effort and mandating that everything that is maintained in Russia has to be accessible in Russia without external influence.
Oh, interesting.
And so that's what they're funding, is that they can actually do that walled garden if they need to keep people out of controlling their infrastructure.
So I got to read the article. So they're not actually in 2021. They want the ability to do this, but they
it's a military-driven.
They aren't necessarily.
It's military, not social.
Okay. So it's kind of like saying, like, for facilities, they're going to do a power phase test where they shut down phase A,
right,
and then they turn that back on, shut down phase B, and you see what dies.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Well, then in that case, it's whatever. I mean, it's kind of a non-story in a way.
Well, yeah, that's why they had to write it like they were going to cut themselves off.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it. Is this a clickbait thing?
No, it's misreported. It's just like they
misreported.
Well, it's the same thing as a UK article came back and said it bricked the routers. It didn't brick the routers. Bricking a router means that you can't
use it at all.
Can't have
literally
access
a brick
to all.
now.
All it did was it no longer would connect to internet sites if you didn't change one configuration on it. But you still could change the configuration.
So the whole time you just change it back and you're on the internet?
Yeah. That's it.
Yep.
You change it to their right.
Okay.
We got these lame articles today. I mean, it sounded sensational. God, I fucking fell for it.
Well, the problem was if you didn't want to use their DNS for whatever reason, you don't.
It sounds like what we would do.
So now, I hate to circle back like this, but if you just got your own damn modem, then you're...
See, here by law, they have to let you use your own equipment if you can provide it. In the UK, I don't think that's quite true.
Got it.
In the UK, they're still using like 1970s AT&T rules, right? Where like you have a phone line, you use this phone equipment.
Yeah.
And fuck all. Right?
Yep. Well, they have a tax on television use.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, they've had that since
in the UK
forever, ever since television.
So if you keep the TV running, or is it just a blanket?
No. So you have to buy a license every year to be able to operate a television set, and they have these vans that go around and like search for unlicensed television. Like this address doesn't have a license for television, and they have vans that can detect if a television is running in that premises or not, and they'll like fine you for it. So you have to buy a license to operate a television every year from the British government.
Okay, one license per TV or one license per household?
TV, per TV.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I did not know that this was a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've got all kinds of plans like being able to tax YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And the money basically funds BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Holy shit, I didn't know that.
But the BBC, there's not that many commercials on it, right? It's not like regular broadcast here.
Well,
there's less.
Yeah. Well, as an example, like a 1 hour show here would be a 42-minute, like somewhere around a 42-minute show. For a 1 hour show would actually be 42 minutes of showtime.
Right.
So that means you're getting 18 minutes of commercials.
Yeah.
If you get a British show, it's about 52 minutes.
That's what I thought.
It's about 52 minutes for the average 1 hour show.
See,
as an example, it's half the commercials.
I didn't know the TV thing, but I do know, like, when I was watching Doctor Who, like, I was like, oh shit, these things are like 53 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
Makes sense, I guess. But.
Those commercials,
Yeah. So, yeah, it's more like HBO-ish.
Yeah, ish.
Well, yeah, because, back in, like, even in the 70s in British television, they had nudity on British television, broadcast television.
Benny Hill and all
that. Yeah, they had HBO in the 70s on broadcast television.
Wow.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So does anybody else have any other articles that they want to talk about or subjects?
What, I don't think so.
Hold on,
there was another one in there. Which one was the Google unveils. Did you see that?
Yeah, so the article says Google unveils auto delete for location, web activity, and app usage data.
And you know how I found this article?
How?
Our very own Lab Fox, I think either liked it or retweeted it on Twitter, and that's how I was informed of this article.
Okay. Now, are you familiar with what's going on here? Or?
Just that they're giving, they're going to set just an option in place where, like right now, if you haven't explicitly told Google not to like track your location and just like certain web activities, they will. But now they're going to give you the option to have it auto delete either every 3 months or every 18 months.
So they can monetize your data for that period of time, and then it all auto.
Well, I mean, technically, they're probably always going to keep it. They're just telling us they're deleting it, but to each their own.
So the useful data that you get out of like places you go often, right, is like you open Google Maps and say, hey, how's my trip to the Sin Shop this evening going to be, right? Which way should I take?
Yeah, and then they give
Right.
traffic suggestions based
So
on that.
it automatically pops up, hey, I know where you're going because it's Friday.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do that a lot.
Okay, and so it's a handy information to be able to have, but there's no reason to have a lengthy tail of that data. You only need enough to be able
Maybe
to
like 2 weeks to,
Yeah.
to
you,
get a
you
pattern.
only need a certain amount of that data to be able to make a prediction of what's happening. And I think Google is one of the first ones out there starting to see that maintaining huge stores of data is actually a liability for them.
A liability and just cost of keeping up all
Cost of
that
keeping
storage.
it up also is like if they get hacked, something gets hit, it's actually a liability for them to keep this. And so they actually would probably start encouraging you to delete your past information like that. I think it's a good step forward.
Right, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Community mic. First community mic of the evening.
Yeah, so same with the whole talked about it a couple weeks ago. This probably is directly related to codename Vault something, which is where it was found that they were storing all of the collected data that they were getting, and people they got issued a letter saying like, "What are you doing with this? Please explain how you're disseminating this to third parties and other things." Because this seems to be exactly like, oh, if we just make it so we don't have this anymore, we don't have to tell what we're doing with it anymore. It just seems like oddly coincidental several weeks after this event.
So you think do you think it's more likely then that they would lie about keeping the data as opposed to kind of what Vic is saying here, which is just like, look, after about a month of data, it's just repetitive. Like, we could already recognize the pattern based off of a month of data. Why keep 18 months?
So that's definitely true, but it's not so much about lying about it. It's making it so that they don't have to lie.
Right.
Because if they don't have it anymore, saying we're not doing anything with it is a legal truth, which
It's
is, in the end, what
actually
matters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if they don't have it anymore, they can't be liable for something happening to it.
Right.
Okay, no, that's a good point. I just wanted to clarify.
What sucks is I use it so much. Yeah.
I
like
use
the
my
location.
timeline data like crazy.
Yeah.
And
For my timesheets, like all that crap, like when did I come into work, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay, you have all that, like you referenced that.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
Same
Constantly.
thing, dude.
Yeah.
At
Like-
least twice, maybe 3 times a week, I'll look at my timeline data.
like when did this happen?
Yeah.
Yep.
When did this happen? I make
Absolutely.
sure it's accurate. I make sure it's not falsely reporting me somewhere else or
Yeah.
like placed me at a wrong business.
Exactly.
Because I like to track that data, and I just want to make sure it's not misinterpreted.
I mean, I've used my timeline data before, but I guess not as extensively as you guys. So.
Yeah.
Man, can you export the whole?
You
like-
can. You can.
Oh shit.
Are you gonna
It-
turn it into a
it
graph?
takes
I
a-
kind of want to dump it into Tableau. And
He's
see
gonna
what happens.
graph it. He's gonna graph it.
Yeah.
I also think this is pressure from the flashback that everybody got from Cambridge Analytics.
Oh yeah.
I think some of this has a lot to do with them going, you know what, this was bad and we shouldn't have done that, and they shouldn't do Cambridge Analytics kind of stuff. And reducing the timeline reduces the availability for misuse.
Like a attack surface, or
Yeah.
like a scope, a space.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they can reduce the timeline that people have access to, I think they see it as an option to be able to actually sell it more.
Cambridge Analytics. Which ones? But there was a big data leak that
There was
they
the
had.
Facebook thing.
Oh, that one.
The Facebook
Yes.
came-
Okay.
and came
Right,
together,
right, right.
yeah.
I remember we reported
So,
about
at least
it,
that's the one that I
So
came to mind.
Cambridge Analytics is the one that did all the analyzing for the Trump campaign.
Okay.
And for Brexit.
Okay.
And
So well done.
Okay, so that's another thing is like
Right.
what's going to happen to ISPs in England when Brexit happens.
I mean, I guess that's probably about the second biggest worry about that. I mean, number one being
Well-
Scotland.
Be what?
Wait, Ireland?
Well, Northern Ireland,
Yeah.
they've been fighting for 500 years. What's changing?
Well, they're not right now.
Well, sure, they're taking a break,
I
right?
mean,
Hold on, is this where I do it? Is this where I do it? No.
where you do it.
Maybe I'll save the accent.
no,
for some
you
other
probably
time.
shouldn't right now. No, you probably shouldn't.
No, never mind. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the person in the room who probably punched me square in the face is gone right now.
Yeah.
So, very interesting stuff out of this little tidbit of chat here. Let's see. I thought I had something else to cover. Could be wrong though. This is where I miss it. Do you guys have any other thoughts on this particular news bit?
Oh, Crux is chiming in.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit!
What do you say?
Wait. Is he chiming in on the Sin Shop Discord? Because like.
No,
Oh, okay.
he's texting me actually.
Okay. Well, does he want us? Does he
Well,
want?
he says he's not at the shop because he's soldering up a secret project.
Oh, so he's not lost.
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
And he says
What's
businesses
new?
have been reduced to the amount of emails retained for years to reduce what could be queried in the event of lawsuits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're on the right
So
track.
liability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I hope they don't make it to where you have to. Like, I'm glad that they're offering the choice to. Really hope they don't make it to where you have to get rid of all that data.
They-
'Cause,
they-
like,
Well, would you use it personally?
Well,
like to,
I do.
Yeah.
Well, you just do a rolling scrape. Every month, end of the month, you just do a
Scrape it locally.
Yeah.
scrape it and do it that way.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
do that.
well, since Sarbanes-Oxley, every public company has to maintain at least 5 years of email for anybody with a decision-making position, like directors or above.
Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I get well, at first I had a year. I was like, a year? I've got I totally have emails older than a year that I need to revert to. What are you doing? But then they
sure.
loosened it up eventually. But
Yeah.
Now I remember the question that I wanted to ask everybody
Here it
today.
is.
Yes,
Wait,
here it
do you
is.
want? Or I was gonna say, it's a different topic. It's
No,
not an
that's fine.
actual topic.
No. Go ahead. You can go ahead.
So I read something ridiculous on Twitter today. I am not sure.
Something
Yeah.
ridiculous on Twitter today.
No,
I'm
you
not.
gotta unfollow Trump. You just gotta quit.
I did, but I forgot that I still follow the White House, and the White House just fucking retweets his ass. It's fucking Sarah Sanders, the dumb bitch. Anyways, you made me forget what I was going to talk about.
You just buffer overflowed his brain.
No, I remember. It's because it's McAfee. So I saw that he's coming out with his own Bitcoin Visa credit card.
Who's this?
John McAfee.
Oh, jump all over that.
I thought it was the most ridiculous thing because, one, the whole point of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is the anonymity, but
Right.
now you're having all of it linked to a Visa card or MasterCard?
Well, Bitcoin isn't anonymous. It's the most ledgered trade mechanism we have.
Okay.
You absolutely can trace it back through how it went from
yeah.
party to party. Even though some of them might be anonymous, you can figure out how that trail went.
Yeah.
The most ridiculous thing about that is, of course, John McAfee himself, second by the fact that he wants to produce a Visa-enabled Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I thought,
Yeah.
like
literally, it's a
6 months
credit
ago, wasn't he
card,
talking about an unhackable wallet?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. It
Oh,
turned out
same
to
thing.
be turned out to be a Visa card.
This is the same thing. Oh
It's
shit.
probably the same thing.
Well, okay.
Just took his Visa card, puts a blockchain on it, and now it's.
Did you sprinkle blockchain on your imaginary Visa card?
Yeah,
I love that. That's great. That's exactly how he did it too.
Ah, here's blockchain on my Visa card. Wow.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure in the commercial for this, John McAfee is going to do that exact same move.
Great, you gave him ideas,
There you
Satchel.
go.
I posted a picture, or I posted the tweet in the live stream.
Oh my god, it's an
That's-
actual Visa card. Wow.
That's not a good picture of John. He doesn't have a shotgun or anything. He's
Yeah.
holding.
Shotgun or just copious amounts of drugs and
So,
women.
Two hookers and a shotgun.
Mini
John
giraffe.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so here, I remember the question that I wanted to ask you guys.
This guy owns at least 3 black cowboy hats.
Definitely.
Just looking at the picture.
Oh, no, you're right.
At least 3.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Alright.
So, Satchel wasn't part of the group when we actually had the privilege of interviewing him at DEF CON. And actually, look at Zenify's face.
That was so ridiculous, man.
He almost got the shit kicked out of him because he had a camera.
Well, the security...
Don't take
the-
cameras into those places.
Well, look, John said I could. Yeah, we're on a first name basis here.
John McAfee. Yeah, he said I could do it.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, like,
You know.
hey, yeah, just bring it in. You get interview up in, well, where was it? It was at...
It was at Hustler Club.
Hustlers, yeah, it was at Hustlers Club.
Yeah.
And you were
Oh.
doing it in the private suite up top.
Oh, you can't have cameras in there, period.
Right, yeah, see?
This was exactly how the security described it, the security detail there. They go,
Yeah.
okay, you can bring this in. You're going to be up in the suite. To the right of you is going to be a window looking out to the floor. Do not point your camera to the right. And I'm like, you got it. I'm not going to do that. Because I knew they were going to break that fucking camera if I did.
Was it an expensive one? We didn't have that.
It's
Like
that one.
Is it that one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, camera that almost got the shit out of it.
So you accidentally pointed it to the right.
No, I did not.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, well
It was,
done.
it was a
It's
smooth
not
interview.
broken.
Yeah, I
was a smooth
wanted
interview.
I wanted to get in there, do my duty, and fucking leave, which I
Right.
did.
Yeah.
Promptly.
You didn't stay for a little bit, Zenify? Okay, well,
Nope.
just I didn't even go.
I wanted to get back to the hotel room. I was
In
fucking
fact, it was
done.
everybody there except me, right? Like, so it was you,
Yeah,
Doxy,
you didn't go.
BGM, and
And
Lapbox.
Lapbox, yep,
I went.
and McNutt.
I went to and McNutt. Yeah, I was the only host that didn't go to the thing. I went to the hotel room and just slept.
Yeah.
Was I speaking that year? Can't
No,
remember.
you were no, you did speak
did
that
speak,
year,
right?
and yeah, you had family dinner plans or something like that.
Yeah, that's always my excuse. Okay, I remember what I wanted to talk about, but really quick, since we're on the whole subject of con, reminder. Actually,
Nothing. Go ahead. You conning people out of?
no.
Con.
Oh,
That
that's,
one.
see,
There you go.
I have satchels on both sides of me. God damn it.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, okay. So really quick, we're taking an announcement break. An announcement break. So first, the summer. No, this is the spring edition of the 2600 magazine is out. We had our 2600 meeting today before the
No, go ahead.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
He takes a deep breath like he's going to say something. Yeah. There we go.
Later.
All right. And then the
I'm just wondering, do you have an article in it? In the
not
2600?
this. Not this.
You
one.
don't.
No, not this time.
Oh man.
So the
Worthless.
DEF CON call for papers is now closed. Or no, I think we're talking about they've extended a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't get the date on that, but I think I saw that. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday they extended the call for papers.
Right. So the
unusual,
the
isn't it?
deadline. Well, here's the thing. This is the story, right? So the deadline for the call for papers was May 1st, and then on May 1st, I see Nikita Cronenberg, who's the operations person here for DEF CON, was like, on the day of the deadline, she got thousands of emails, or like close to like 1,000 emails of submissions to present at DEF CON.
Oh,
Yeah. So she's like, what the fuck? Like in not so many words,
people
but I mean.
were really trying to get it. I mean, you don't even have to have a finalized slide deck.
Well, what's
though.
funny is I tweeted at her and I said, "Hey, do I get points for submitting early?" Because as soon as the CFP came up, I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm doing this!" And I think I submitted like within 2 days of the CFP opening.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Do I get points for submitting early?" She's like, "No." And I was like, "Fair enough."
I mean, hey, if you don't ask, you don't get it.
That's right.
Exactly, but we'll see. I submitted 3 different call for papers. I submitted one to Recon Village. I submitted one to B-Sides, which was actually the same talk. And then I submitted one to Sky Talks, and then I submitted one to DEF CON proper, like the DEF CON tracks. And when I submitted to DEF CON, I said, okay, I know that this particular subject is not very technical, and you've rejected me before because it wasn't a technical talk. Rightfully so, I get that part, but I'm really hoping that you guys select this particular talk for DEF CON 101. I believe that the talk that I'm wanting to present is great for beginners. It's great for anybody who's trying to enter the industry. And I can't really say what it is because I'm still waiting on confirmation. But that was my plea. At the bottom of the call for papers, they said, okay, tell us why you think you should be on stage. And I was like, well, this is the reason. Anyway, community mic.
You type that
Chen.
a seal.
This isn't your first time doing a DEF CON talk. If you
No.
get selected, how do you feel that like over the years since you've done like what 5 now?
Not for DEF CON specifically, but I've been on stage since 2014.
Do you feel
I think I
that-
took a year break.
Doing these multiple talks is helping when you go to put in for like a call for paper and
Absolutely. So
like how you format it.
Well, so here's some other news too. I'm going to be a B-Sides mentor for the Proving Grounds track. So I've already made contact with the person that I'm mentoring, and so I was sharing some video of me speaking before with her, and she's actually already spoken before at B-Sides London, but they still put her in the Proving Grounds track. And so we were kind of just sharing links, sharing resources and everything, and I was like, kind of looking over my old material. Now, for those of you who don't know, I know that we've been doing this podcast for almost 200 episodes. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there, just 5 more.
Almost more.
But I actually hate
There.
the sound of my
200
voice. I don't like listening to my old material, not because it's not good, I don't think. It's just to hear myself, I'm like, you
You
know.
just get so bored.
I kind of, no.
That's
I'm
like
not-
that's
no.
everyone because the way you hear
Yeah,
your
everyone
voice,
can't
Yeah.
stand him. I know.
Exactly, not even me, not even myself.
the way that you hear Chen's no, the way that like because internally we hear our voices reverberating.
Right, but that's
through
not
our
what it is,
skulls.
though. Like,
Yeah.
so
But
I
it
saw,
doesn't sound like how you think you sound.
Right.
That's part of the issue.
Right. So I saw my first talk, which was in 2014, and I was like, okay. Like back then, of course, you could tell when I was nervous. You can tell all these things and whatnot. And as you see progressively, if I did like a timeline reel, Like you can see that I become more confident. I'm familiar with the stage. I've never actually had stage fright that I could think of or remember.
That's because of the tequila, though, isn't it?
Of course, it's because of the tequila. No, but I mean, like even in high school when I was in theater, like I was excited to get on stage. I wasn't nervous
Also took
about
tequila too.
Yeah.
That was the only time you could
tequila
drink
when I was
tequila.
15. No.
explain
So
it.
I've never actually been stage fright in a sense of like not being able to speak or the hands get clammy. But yeah, so I have seen improvement, and I hope to keep improving as I keep speaking. And yes, I'm definitely using the shotgun method when it comes to submitting talks. I have all these ideas. I write down the outline and I say, "Fuck it, see which ones you like." That's how it works. And it seems to be successful because the only time I didn't speak was 2016, I think, or 2015, or 20. Oh, you got to fix it. We just got somebody tossed their cookies.
Oh.
Was it 20? Yeah, it had to have been 2016 because the first time I went to DEF CON was with you in 2015.
And I was speaking then?
Yeah, you spoke.
Okay, I can't remember. Like, it's a good thing that there's video record because it was 2015 when I did speak. It was 2016 when I took the break.
Yeah.
2015 there is no video record of me speaking because that was at the Sky Talks and that does not get recorded.
It was also 2015. I thought you did DEF CON 101.
No, DEF CON 101 was 2017.
But I was there for that one, and I didn't go in 2017.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to look at the record because I believe.
I think it was 2015. I was in the audience. I was fucking front row.
I don't know, man. No, you might be right. I don't know. I'll have to look at the record. I can't remember. Remember,
Look,
I'm
the guy that
drunk on
checks his
stage.
You gotta
timeline.
look at your Google location
Yeah.
history.
I'll look
you're
at my
right.
Google timeline,
I mean,
which I do a lot.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so anyway, so those are the announcements. Remember, if you're going to DEF CON, I hope to see you all there. Are you going this year? You haven't been able to go the last couple.
Yeah, I'll probably be this year.
Okay, cool. And Mr. Vic, I already know your answer, and Satchel, I already know your answer.
I mean, I'll probably do. I mean, if we set up any interviews, but I'll probably just try and mainly volunteer. Like, I don't know what I'll do. Maybe something with accordance.
Well,
with
we
the
could
Sin
still, I think, we could still submit for press, which I haven't done yet, actually. So.
Shop. I mean, we could. I just like, I'm the thing.
I don't want to interview people in the hustler.
The thing I worry about when I go is.
You
I-
worry too much.
Yeah, I worry
He
way
does.
too much, dude. I just don't know. I want to have like a plan, and if I'm not like following you around or like following somebody around, I just want to know that I'm going there to do something. And I don't really want to sit in talks because I watch those all year long.
Yeah, but okay, so here's where we can kind of go
So I'll
back
be
to
going to the villages and
Yeah,
just like
but that's exactly what you need to do,
Yeah.
especially this year, because this year, DEF CON is actually split between 3 hotels. It's going to be the Planet Hollywood, Bally's, and Paris. So, for fuck's sake, I mean, like, if you're not going to go to a talk, if you know you're not going to get in, I would recommend going to see it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? And this is me potentially being a speaker. I don't know yet. But there's so much to do there. It's now split between 3 hotels. You will find something to do. You'll go to a contest. You'll go to some village or whatever. Like, there's so much shit to do there now. It's not a bad thing.
yeah.
Not a bad thing at all.
Okay. We'll
Okay.
see.
Now, I finally want to talk really quick before we go on to the lightning round. I want to talk about what I finally freaking remembered.
What'd you finally figure remember?
Well, it goes back to the GitHub thing, and it kind of goes back to, again, we've talked about this a couple of times with read the fucking manual or whatever. With Git and GitHub, like, in the past, I just kind of pushed code up there, and it was always to master. Like, push to master, you'll be fine, right? Push to the master branch, you'll be fine. But I didn't inherently understand exactly why you would branch and all these things, right? So is it better to just hack along to get along, or would it be better to read documentation and then do things right? Because now that I had this week of just nothing but Git, I feel like I've leapfrogged my...
Somebody's in pain from you saying just push it to master.
I told you I learned my lesson. My lesson.
He's hurt, dog. Don't ask
No,
him if
I
he's
know.
all right.
No, but what I'm saying is now that I understand it better, I feel like because of my previous experience and then doing it this week, I feel like I've leapfrogged where I would have been if I just strictly read the documentation. Does anybody else feel that way?
Oh
or-
yeah, absolutely. Like I flail around, I bang rocks together for a while until I can't bang rocks together anymore.
Actually, I
and then
did
I'm
that this week.
You banged rocks together?
I banged rocks together, and then I had to reference Satchel and be like, "Hey, what the fuck am I doing wrong?"
Wait,
Yeah,
literally or
and
figuratively?
figuratively.
No, figuratively.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was working with Arduino boards, and I was just like, I was like, why the fuck isn't this working? So I'm talking to Satchel about it, just casually.
Yeah.
He did what I should have done 20 steps ago, which is read just the top couple lines of the documentation.
No, it was the comments in the.
So
comments.
Zenify, Doxy, if you're
Yeah,
watching,
sorry.
Zenify's telling you to maybe
Read the fucking manual.
read the fucking manual.
Or read the comments.
Yeah, just read the comments in the code itself.
Yeah.
You didn't do that either?
Nah.
Oh shit.
So it depends. Are you writing and using Git for what you're doing, or are you like working with other people on
That's
this
the
project?
thing. This week I'm working with other people on these projects. Before it was basically a place for me to store code. So was it really wrong to push to master this whole time?
Yes.
God damn it, I'm still getting that look. Okay, I guess
So-
it's wrong. I'm sorry.
So there's a process to be able to work with others, and that varies from place to place. But if you're going to be working with others, you need to learn how to follow that process when you're just working for yourself.
Okay, fair point.
And so, yeah, if you're never going to work with anyone else, you're not going to coordinate or any of that, then yeah, you can do whatever you want on Git. But there's a process to using Git with others.
If you're used to always drinking milk out of the carton, you're gonna make a shitty roommate one day.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you should learn their way. Understand what other people need from you and why you don't want to push the master when you got 6 other people also pushing the master.
Ah, this looks good. Merge it. Oh, it broke everything. Fuck. That's our only copy. We gotta go back. We gotta revert back. Okay.
Right.
I get it. Jesus Christ. I'm just saying I had a lot of experience this week. That was my question.
It is complicated.
All right.
From
Are we?
the community? It is complicated. I don't know. I feel like it should be easier. Maybe that's why it's so. I don't know. Like, here we go. Community mic. Here,
Okay, we have
come on.
community Mike. He's coming up to the stage,
Here it
or the
is.
not so stage.
So just remember this: Git was made because Linus Torvald doesn't like dealing with people. That's it.
Is that what he said?
That's
That's in
why he
documentation,
designed
right?
Git, is because he was working with people on Linux and he found that he didn't like the system they were using. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna make a system that I like, and that's all
He
it is.
coded it in 3 days.
Yeah, we're literally like everyone who uses Git is using Linus's method essentially.
You're inside of his head.
Yeah, that's
All
all it
in.
is.
Is that a great
and
place to be?
He's kind of complicated, and he's known for not wanting to do sometimes the best practices. So, in the spirit of Linus, you were doing the right thing.
Holy shit.
Oh, I mean.
He just made a point there. All right, so let's do a really quick lightning round. God, I know that we are going back to the hackernews.com as a thing, as a resource. So let's hopefully this is. I haven't seen anything, so let's hope this is not too clickbaity, and I'll try to avoid it. Who
Okay.
wants to go first?
I'll do it.
All right, Zenify's going first, and we're gonna go that way, counterclockwise. All right, and for those of you who do not know what the lightning round is, we're going to go to thehackernews.com. We're going to give our tweet's length of an opinion, which is now 240 characters, but it's not like that matters because we've never followed the rules here. Right?
True.
All right, so just keep talking until you get talked over.
Especially when pushing to Git. That's
Yeah, exactly. All right, first article. Let's see. Europol. Is that the European police?
I think it is.
Europol shuts down 2 major illegal dark web trading platforms.
Woohoo! I don't know. I mean, were they was it like trafficking?
I don't know, I think it's-
terrible things, or was it just
Well,
like
it's dark
people-
web. It's probably Silk Road in nature. Drugs.
I mean, I really like drugs, but if they're doing the trafficking stuff, the sexual trafficking, whatever. What do you think?
There's still 2 million of them left open.
Yeah.
There's 6 more popped open just now.
Here's what happens when they do that. Take your finger and put it in a bucket, pull it out as fast as you can. That drop does not stay there.
That's right.
That hole, it just
That's right.
fills up right away.
Yep. Yep. Or is the demand? As long as there's demand, it's going to be filled.
Actually,
Yeah, no, go ahead.
this is interesting because on Reddit, I was just browsing Reddit, and I think it was on the Darknet subreddit. It said, "Does anybody know any new black markets?" So I didn't know that was maybe related to this.
Probably is. I don't know.
Anyone know
Yeah.
any new black market?
Yeah, and you ask it on Reddit.
How do you
so-
do, fellow kids?
exactly.
I am not an FBI
I've
agent.
seen that meme
Or
also
Secret
around
Service
lately,
agent.
or that
Yes.
GIF.
Yeah.
Wait, Secret
Yeah.
Service doesn't. No, they do. They have Cyber Command. Yeah.
They're just like Amazon.
Oh,
They're just like Amazon.
All right, we've got a community micer here.
I was actually gonna point out that there were a couple new dark web markets. Silk Road is back after.
Back.
Yeah.
Silk Road.
Yeah, there's a. I got a link specifically towards it.
Sounds like it could be fetted though.
No. I was
toward
on the
it.
dark web recently, and I actually someone put a link on the dark web saying where the exact link of the onion is. You go through the verification, like the captcha saying you're not a robot, yada yada yada, and it's back up. It's Silk Road 3.1. It's crazy after government
Wait,
shutdown.
Silk Road 3.1?
Yeah, with less FBI.
My first version of Windows was 3.1. That's kind of full circle.
Oh, then it's.
Aw.
I can't remember which one it was. It was.
Yay, we're back to normal. We're back to whatever it was 20 years ago.
It was like a 3.1 or 3.2.
I was gonna say.
We'll have to check that.
I was gonna say Napster is still a
checking
website
it
too.
now.
You know. I don't
All right,
know.
well, while that's getting fact checked, let's go on to the next article.
Oh.
Next article: pre-installed software flaw exposes most Dell computers to remote execution, remote hacking.
Mm.
I did see this as well.
I mean,
That's your shit.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
Wipe your hard drives, install clean.
yeah.
That's really convenient of them to install it before you get it, because now you don't have to wait for a Windows update to open it.
Yeah.
The back door.
They've been doing this off and on for at least 2005 on, and Dell has had this happen a number of times. PCs had back doors open on them.
Mm-hmm.
Their employees spying on people through their video cameras.
Oh wow,
All this kind of stuff has happened.
lovely.
All right, I'm going to skip this next article because it was talking about the Google auto delete stuff. The next article is WikiLeaks Julian Assange sentenced to 50 weeks in a UK jail.
Yeah, that's not all he's getting though.
I was just gonna say, wait,
No, that's
all
like
that BS was over
I'm pretty
50
sure
weeks?
that's just like preliminary shit if I remember.
So what? Like after he gets out of jail, then he gets expedited.
well, no, he
to-
still has other like cases to go to as well.
Which cases though? Because the only one that I know that is still open was one singular hacking charge, right?
Well, I know. Was it Switzerland?
Nope, dropped it.
They dropped it fully?
They're gonna do everything.
I'm sorry,
I
we
thought
can't
they
hear
were
you.
gonna try and reopen it. Yeah.
Thanks for the fact check, but we can't. The mics can't pick you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm certain they are going to try and reopen it. I'm not certain that they will reopen it, but it is something they are actively trying to
Looking
do.
at doing.
All right, Mr. Vic, thoughts on that?
Of him going to jail?
Or-
For 50 weeks?
Yeah.
For skipping bail?
Any of it?
That's kind of excessive.
Wait, the 50 weeks is excessive.
Yeah, for skipping bail.
Is that what they were charging him for?
Yeah, it's the only reason he was brought before the
Oh, that's not
magistrate.
even the hacking charge. That's right. The hacking charge is a U.S. charge.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it looks like so they gave Assange a sentence close to the maximum of a year in custody, saying it was hard to envisage a more serious example of this offense. He was on the lam, if you will, for 7 years.
He knew exactly where he was.
Oh, that's true.
Time served.
It's basically a jail, essentially.
He had to live
He
in
couldn't
that
go
terrible
anywhere.
place with
It's
that
like being
terrible
in a
cat.
9x9 cell.
Yeah, well, that was his cat, so I mean,
Well, he makes bad decisions all the time.
Smear and poop everywhere.
that's the part that, wow.
Okay, I'm skipping the next
Yeah.
article because it is a CompTIA ad. Next article after that. Let's see. DHS orders federal agencies to patch critical flaw within 15 days. Good luck.
Patch your shit.
Yeah,
Why do they need to tell him?
because they don't have an internal security thing. I don't know.
Why would they need to tell them this?
Thoughts?
I mean, pretty much exactly what he said. Well, probably because they fired everybody and replaced them with contractors who really don't care because it worked yesterday and it'll probably work tomorrow. So who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, job security. Look, the server needs updating.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Get
last.
to it. Where's
Right.
that money, please?
right.
Yeah, that's out of scope, but we could do that for the extended
Yeah.
bonus.
And we get
Yeah.
45 days to do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's in progress. We're making progress.
Oh, yeah.
All right, last article here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hackers found exploiting Oracle WebLogic RCE. For those of you who don't know, that stands for Remote Code Execution flaw to spread ransomware.
Is this another patch your shit?
Patch your shit. That's 3 patch your
Fuck.
shits.
See?
They had to use the word hacker and exploit.
I know, right?
Like you know,
Demonizing us. We're really good
these
people.
are criminals, people. Criminals.
Which one was that?
Man. I don't know. I mixed it. Does that count as a shot? No.
I don't know what that was.
Do your Kermit the Frog.
Hi ho. Hi ho, Kermit the. Fuck it, we're done.
Kermit the Frog as a Rastafarian.
Whoa! Hold on, I gotta practice that one.
Oh.
Hold on, I don't even want to do this on the air. Okay,
Right.
I'll practice that and come back next week.
All
Next
right.
week you will see a Rastafarian Kermit the Frog. You asked for it, Satchel.
Did I?
I think so. That's how I'm taking it. I'm taking it as a special request. All right, well, that brings us to the end of the lightning round, which, of course, brings us to the end of the show. We have run out of time, and as you can tell, we've never run out of shit to say. So join us again. God, stop it. Join us again next week, where we're still going to be here. And I think, no, Docs is not going to be here either, because he's doing things without us, like an asshole. No, I'm kidding.
Wait,
He's probably seeing Endgame again.
I know.
He's already seen it
He saw it like 4
times.
times this weekend.
Or maybe 5, actually.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's what he does in his spare time.
2 in the first night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so
I don't know where he finds
but
that.
you can find
Right.
us. We're going to be here next week, same time here at the Sin Shop. That is 7:30 every Friday night. And for those of you who don't know, we said it in the beginning of the episode, but Sin Shop is at 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. Remember to go to sinshop.org for information on the shop. Go to meetup.com/sinshop for information on the classes and stuff that we're teaching and upcoming events. And for information on us, go to Greynoise, GREYNOI.se. Remember, we do not talk shit about Sweden, so we can keep using that domain. All right. My name is Master Chen.
It was Zenify.
I'm Vic.
And I'm Richard Satchel.
Good night, everybody.
Fuck Denver.